Hey, it's Moonfall! And boy, I'm looking forward to some solid sci-fi filming with absolutely no mentally challenged gaping plot holes. Anyway, here's a load of space imagery because this film happens in space, but something is happening, and their communication devices are dropping out. And look, here's a couple of astronauts doing astronaut things, but what the shit is going on because those lights are going mental. And here's some weird space jizz flying around that totally kills Ziggy Stardust. Hey, that other Astro Man ended up back in the ship somehow and tells unconscious Batwoman that he's totally going to get her home because this spaceship was completely unharmed by that space jizz, and now that space jizz is actually flying off and is impregnating the moon. Wow, what a weird series of events. Scene transmission, and it's moving day for the Astro Man's estranged family. But who's on the TV? It's Astro Man! And he's already home, and is warning that there is some kind of weird space jizz hanging out in space, but obviously the well-respected elite astronaut who spent many years training and is definitely sound of mind, is obviously just making it all up and no one believes him. It's a new scene, and Samwell Tarly is cleaning, just like that time when he cleaned the ship bowls in Game of Thrones. And then he hacks into a computer in a government building, and he's so naughty, but actually, he's a fast food restaurant worker. I wonder how he got a green card to work in the US as a foreigner with the qualifications of a drive-thru assistant. But anyway, looks like that info he's stolen from the totally scary government also has super scary details, so immediately he quits his job to go home. Quick flip, and Batwoman just turned up to work, and what the shit, the moon has apparently changed its orbit, which is really weird. Anyway, we go back to Samwell Tarly again because this film actually can't stay on one scene for more than 2 seconds, and he's home now and has some really complex computer systems working in the background. And I wonder, why is he working in a drive-thru when he could have easily had a computer-based job? Anyway, he's now found something, so Millie wants to tell some kids, but hang on, he's now saying that the moon is actually an artificial structure and is not real, just like those pesky birds. And look who turns up. It's Astro Man, and it turns out that this whole thing was a setup by Samwell Tarly to use him to speak to NASA because he's discovered that the moon is out of orbit, but NASA already know that. But then again, Astro Man, even though he saw legit space jizz, doesn't believe him and gets him kicked out of the museum. They're circled back, and NASA are literally watching the moon out of orbit, and they've discovered the moon will start to break up and crash into Earth, killing everyone. Looks like that little secret is out already, and Astro Man is watching it on the courthouse TV because his son just got 25 days to life for joyriding a car. And look, the media are now telling people that everyone is going to experience a fiery but mostly peaceful death, and since this is not CNN, it actually might be true this time. Scene transmission, and they're already sending a spaceship to the moon to investigate, and it obviously didn't take months if not years of preparation and careful planning and checks and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, so now actually the civilized world is collapsing, and Astro Man has found Samwell Tarly YouTube channel and is now going to go off to find him. But look! They've reached the moon already and are sending a probe into a crater because they could do that, have that planned, manufactured, tested and mounted into, in the space of a scene. Anyway, hey, it's going down that hole and it's absolutely fine, but oh no! It starts coming back out of that hole and oh my god, the moon just ejaculates space jizz and it kills those spacemen to death. Now NASA start replaying it for the lols, and it's some kind of weird alien stuff there too, and now they're totally going to work out how to beat it, even though they have absolutely no idea what it is. And Boss Man hands his job over to a person of colour as reparations for his ancestors' transgressions. And she uses it to get the records of that spaceflight that she was on in the beginning. If you remember, she gets knocked out. She didn't actually see anything, so obviously needs the records. And now Patches from Dodgeball is telling her that they've known about the aliens for years. Anyway, Astro Man has tracked down Samwell Tarly very easily. So they go for lunch, and Samwell Tarly is telling Astro Man that the moon is a megastructure and that it has a Dyson sphere inside of it, which is absolutely mental considering he's never been to the moon. But anyway, watch out, there's a tsunami, so they start getting on the top floor, and oh no, Samwell Tarly is going to die like he was meant to in Season 8 of Game of Thrones. Remember the Night King episode when he was literally getting swarmed but somehow survived it all? Anyway, wait, no, he's actually fine just like he was in Episode 3. And now Astro Man is telling him that he's totally seen alien space jizz right near the moon. Back to Batwoman, and she says she knows how to beat the aliens immediately with no evidence or data, but is immediately actually shot down by military man who doesn't listen to strong women and says that it's now a military operation and she should get the fuck out of there. She goes home and tells her son that they're totally not going to die to death even though they blatantly are. But hang on, Batwoman just works out that you can use old space tech like the old Apollo things, and those pesky aliens won't realise it's there, and they can use an EMP device to destroy it. Wow, she's really smart and funny because she managed to work all that out of fucking nowhere for some reason. Now Astro Man is getting kidnapped by NASA, who knew where he was this entire time because of some kind of reason, and hey, Samwell Tarly is totally going to tag along, and he isn't a security risk. So they're now hanging out, and Samwell Tarly is telling Astro Man that he's stolen loads of secrets from NASA over the years, and Batwoman then enters his room, so immediately they all begin to argue. Then asks, who the hell is this chubbo guy? And he actually very politely introduces himself, but she's actually a complete and utter bitch and ignores him. Wow, she's so strong, she forgot how to do the basics of manners. Anyway, she's now showing them funny cat videos on YouTube, and then also that alien thing. So Samwell is telling him that the moon is a megastructure, again, and that they need to make contact. So Batwoman says that the aliens recognise their new advanced tech, so she'll totally use old tech again because, remember guys, she's really smart and we didn't pick that up the first time. Anyway, retarded plot holes aside, they're all cool with it and go to the NASA museum and take an old prototype spaceship that will actually require years upon years of, like, you know, fixing it, making sure it's development, and even remotely viable for spaceflight. But wait, you know, are you stupid, audience? Because they've already got it on the launch pad, and hey, Action Man has the EMP device right there so they can blow it up with a handheld device that the aliens won't recognize because obviously it's still technology. Don't know, we'll carry on. So now they have a plan, and then they go flying to the moon, then turn this pod on, and then, like, you know, push it out somewhere else so it diverts the attention of those space aliens, because that's modern technology on it, and remember guys, they worked it out in like 2 bloody seconds, and then blow up the EMP device, because they also worked out that the aliens will respond to electromagnetic pulses. But holy shit, that kid who got 25 days to life for joyriding is right there, so real emotional scene between Astro Man and his son. But look, that woman just spoke Chinese, in America! Because they've got to do the Asian representations, you idiots, for that sweet, sweet Chinese money, even though Hollywood pretends that they're totally against totalitarian genocidal dictatorships who require major film producers cover up black people on their posters. But obviously, you're actually the bigot if you have an opinion on Drag Queen Story Hour for Children, you utter dingus. And hang this shit on, they've actually just cancelled the launch because of some kind of reasons. But hang the shit on further because Samwell Tarly has just run some simulations on some convenient computers, and actually the whole plan would still work, so everyone back into the pod. But did I also mention that he was working in a drive-thru even though he's like an absolute genius with computers? Anyway, stupid plot holes aside. So Batwoman assumes control of the entire operation and knows everything, and says that, you know, Astro Man will fly the old plane, and then she will navigate because obviously she can work all that sort of stuff. But look, now they're actually inviting Samwell Tarly onto the spaceship even though he's got no experience, and says that he has terrible IBS because that's just comic relief for this film, even though it makes no sense and just, you know, completely unnecessary dialogue. They're now ready to launch, and at this exact moment there's a huge gravity tsunami wave coming. But obviously they're going to be absolutely fine, because if they didn't survive this humongous tsunami, then this film will be over, you utter dingus. But wow, it's amazing how all that water is going like directly upwards, but everyone standing in anywhere near it is absolutely fine. And also it doesn't make sense because Earth's gravity is stronger than the moon's, but you know, screw it. So 25 Days to Life and CCP contractual agreement actress outdrive that tsunami in the car for reasons. And look, now they're in space and then get caught in the moon's gravity field, so they're absolutely fine. And because remember, they can't use technology, or those very scary space aliens will come after them, then, well, look, Samwell Tarly's got his phone out because of reasons. Now Samwell Tarly is doing space things and's really good at it, even though he's had absolutely no training. And now they're refueling too, but holy shit, the moon is massive right now, and it's totally screwing up the world's gravity. So here's some meteors and a mountain blowing up because big explosions, yay! And now there's the moon, and it's making things fall towards it, even though, again, Earth's gravity is stronger than the moon's. But you know what, fuck Newton's laws. They're now in the crater, and Samwell Tarly is taking pictures. Again, with like modern technology phone, but let's gloss over it. And look, Astro Man is taking the lunar lander, and he's going to go into the moon, and then blow up that like EMP device to kill the space alien jizz, because stunningly smart Batwoman worked it all out in no time, because that's how, you know, real things happen. And hey, that space jizz is there, and it is taking the bait of that like lunar lander thing, so they can totally blow up the EMP. But hang on, he's not actually heading their way. So, like, really scary scene, but Astro Man breaks the detonator thinking that it's that's causing the problems. But oh my god, no, it was actually the phone that Samwell Tarly knew he should not have taken there, but he did anyway. So after breaking his phone, the space jizz just stops immediately, doesn't carry on, it just goes, nope, can't see anything anymore, so it just goes back into the moon. And they're now working out that the space aliens sense organic matter in an electronic environment because they're so smart, and Astro Man fails to kill it. Well, he better be quick because the military are actually going to have like nukes and then go nuke the moon like they did back in the Cold War, which was quite funny. Looks like that rover is working absolutely fine with no technical equipment, so bangers and mash, well done lads. And now they're off into the gaping hole of the moon, and Samwell asks if they're dead because it's all pitch black, and Astro Man says nope, they're in the moon, which was really funny. You know, I laughed, I had a little bit of a cry, and then I totally shat myself, ha ha ha. That dialogue was really good. But oh my god, Samwell was right, and that the moon is a megastructure, just the way how birds aren't real and are actually government surveillance devices. But wait this shit on further, there's that alien, and then there's a Dyson sphere that is harnessing the power of a very, very small dwarf star. You know, that by right shouldn't really actually be a dwarf star because, you know, I think the smallest dwarf star ever discovered is actually the entire size of the moon, if not slightly bigger. Anyway, it almost seems like these aliens would be better off Dyson sphering somewhere else since, you know, it's been like millions of years or even billions or whatever, you know, and I haven't actually done anything with that energy so far. But anyway, they're now going to go blow up that EMP, but look out, Space Jizz is about to go come get him, and is actually now controlling their ship somehow. So, you know, they start going away, and then here comes some green goo, Deus Ex Machina, to jizz them into the Dyson sphere. But, uh-oh, systems are now critical on that ship, so there's absolutely 0% chance that they can get home after this. They're all fine though, and you know, out of coincidence can actually breathe inside of the megastructure moon. But Astro Man has disappeared in the space of a scene, and now a mysterious door has opened, so they better go through it. And stunningly smart Batwoman says that there's intelligent life form guiding them through this like maze of different rooms, because she knows bloody everything. But anyway, quick flip, and Astro Man has woken up and gets jizzed by light. He's now having like these weird visions of his 25 days to life joyriding son, so this means that the aliens can read his mind, and it's actually telling him that humans are also actually aliens from an alien world who totally stopped all wars and like were also really harmonious until one day when the Space Jizz, which is also AI technology, went bad and totally terminated them. Well, literally, they took this bit from Terminator. And now we're getting some more backstory about the moon. And it turns out that the moon is the best place in the entire universe to harbour their Dyson sphere because of like, you know, this weird white dwarf thing which is smaller than like the only ever recorded one. Anyway, and now the human ancestors actually also seeded Earth with life, which is literally the plot from Prometheus. And now Astro Man is being told that he has to take the swarm away from the moon because he's the only one who can do it, and now repeats everything we have just learnt to the other guys so that we doubly know that, you know, it's the plot here and that's what he has to go do. So he's now getting into a spaceship and so takes everyone with him and works out that the Space Jizz is trying to kill Earth and the moon together so that they all die since, you know, they really hate humans, these AI things. And obviously they waited like billions of years to go ahead and do this. But watch out, there's Space Jizz, so better fly away from it. And now comes the chase sequence, and well, how did they get out of this one? You know, how did they get out of it? How did they survive? But actually quite easily, because there's some random guns that just pop out of bloody nowhere and they just start firing at the black jizz thing for no reason. And look out, there's some explosions. Holy shit, the moon is actually really close to Earth now, so better get the move on because the military men are now about to launch the nuclear bombs, but really smart man says no, and that he won't blow up the moon because his wife, who is also Batman, is actually up there right now, so literally pulls out a gun because he's so virtuous. Back to the moon, and they're now setting up to blow up the EMP bomb. But, you know, to do so, Astro Man needs to sacrifice himself in the pod. And I'm literally crying right now because I'm so emotionally invested in this utter garbage. But hang on, Sam, what's Samwell doing? He's actually going to sacrifice himself instead, and he's telling Astro Man that no one ever believed in him, so he's, you know, going to do a really cool death scene for, like, the whole redemption arc of, like, you know, go from loser to really cool guy. But he better hurry the fuck up, though, because Space Jizz is coming. And look, he's released the pod, and is now going to save the world, and boom, wow, many explosions. But now Astro Man is knocked out, so Batwoman says that she's going to get him home, bringing it absolutely full circle from that opening scene, where obviously he said to her when she was knocked out, I'm going to get you home. Well, I'm crying right now, guys, because that was so deep. It's like, you know, go outside and there's a puddle, and, you know, probably deeper than this dialogue. So anyway, would you believe it? They managed to get back to Earth, you know, totally off screen and are absolutely fine. And Batwoman says if Earth gets a second chance, then they should too. Which is totally an allegory for that totally evil climate change that has only existed for the past 30 years. And now all their families are here because of reasons, you know, just roll up out of nowhere, including 25 days to life. So not a dry eye in the room, guys, but oh my god, Samwell Tarly gets regenerated by aliens and is totally doing final something, probably like, you know, because we're going to do a sequel.
The subscribe button.
Is always right.